Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this Mass Effect thing that we're doing. So you guys get on your ship. You're on the ship. You throw the bodies out the airlock.
Mine now.
and then you turn it back and head back to those other vessels that you were on before. Correct? Your goal is to try to loot them, I guess. So, who's the one piloting?
We didn't really plan for this part.
No, we didn't plan for this part at all.
I have a -1.
What do I have?
I think we all have a -1.
Is it in
No.
intelligence check
No.
or?
I have a 1.
Good.
Piloting is dexterity or intelligence, depending on what it is you're doing. Sometimes you get to choose, and piloting. So, does anybody have piloting skill level 0?
I have 1.
You have a skill level 1
Yes,
of
one.
piloting?
Yeah.
How did you get that?
I don't know. It's on my character sheet.
Was that a mistake from before? Aaron,
It
was
might
that a
have
mistake from before? I think
It might have been. I don't know. To be honest with you.
I really
No,
think that we
I think it's fine.
because to get a 1, you would have had to invest a
I
considerable
would have
amount,
to invest into it.
and your character came with 0 piloting as a freebie, did it?
Have connect electronics. It comes with a 0. Yep.
Oh, it
I
came
don't
with a
think
0.
I don't remember investing into it, so it might just be a 0.
Okay, but a 0 is still better than a -1. I think that makes you the most
Right.
trained.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like
We'll do
Winnie.
it for now. I'll go
No,
over my
let's-
character sheet
I
later
can't
for
do it.
next week.
Okay, so instead of being in the engineering room, she's apparently going to be up on the deck, on the bridge and piloting the vessel. So Winnie's easily able to turn the ship around. So you guys have the coordinates that you went to before. You were there for a considerable amount of time, and you start making your way over towards the vessel. That's easy. I'm not even going to make you roll for turning around and going back towards where you're going. We have the communications officer has all the coordinates and everything right there. He's easily able to take care of that for you. So you head back towards the vessel. No problem. You get there. When you get there, however, and you see the 3 ships that are like free spinning and floating or whatever, you want to get back on them. You're going to have to redock this ship onto that one, which is going to require me a piloting dexterity or intelligence check.
Alright. I believe my intelligence is higher. Let me double check. No, my dexterity is higher. Look at that.
Okay, make me your roll.
Working on it.
Oh, she rolled so well! God damn it! Damn it! Not fair! Not fair! Oh, come on!
Totally fair.
Oh, not fair! Okay, so she rolled so well. I set the DC for 10. Like, ha ha ha, I'm gonna get her on this one. So you fly the ship over and you start spinning it. So you're spinning at the rate that they are, and like kind of like moving around with them as the rate they are. And you grab your boarding tube and you have it slowly going down towards it, and you balance it. It's not anywhere near as quick as when Clark did it. He was able to do it much quicker, but you're still able to deftly follow along the thing and attach this tube to the hole that was cut into it before from your ship.
Hey Scott,
Shoot.
I don't think she can hear you.
Yeah, she wrote in roll 20.
It's only
Her,
like really visible to you.
Her thing's broken.
Really? Oh. Okay. Cool. Well, wait.
Well, you're gonna be waiting for
She
a while. 'cause
is,
this
I
never
think,
works.
going to run up to your room and smack you.
No. She's probably gonna grab Kunsai's headset.
Get good
Sorry, 1 second.
chance. It's
Technical difficulties.
We'll
Yeah.
be
Hope
right
you have your
back
technical
after these
difficulties screen
difficult-
up ready,
Weren't we
Scott.
just
Yep.
talking about how great wireless headphones are?
We
Hold
were.
on, hold on.
We were talking about how good wireless headphones were.
Oh, now we can't hear her.
No,
stand by that
she probably
dry
just muted
statement.
herself. Give her a second.
No, she
Not a
was
big
trying
deal.
to talk.
Oh man.
Does that? Well, usually if one side's broken.
All right, I'm gonna go to the way screen. We'll take a couple minutes. So sorry, everybody. We'll be right back as she
Back.
fixes her headphones. Things happen.
This is why we have technical difficulty screens.
Yeah.
You do have one.
Hey everybody, thank you for your patience on that one. So sorry. We just a minor technical difficulty, but we're back. Okay, so you get the ship, you get the landing tube out, you lock it on, you're good to go. Funny, you left that ship in there, exposed to the icy cold openness of space, but it doesn't matter because it was vented anyways, even if there wasn't a hole before. You just reattach to the hole that you made before, no problems, you're there. Your boarding tube, you already know that there's some serious problems with the boarding tube and that you more or less need to constantly leak your ventilation to keep the thing functioning, which is not good. It's a serious system strain. As a matter of fact, it's going to cost you 1 power, which luckily your ship literally has 1 spare power right now. So you're going to always be using that extra spare power while using this thing to make the ship function. So you're doing that. You get the thing, using the power, it's good. You actually would be able to lock things up, kind of set that up, go down to engineering, and do all of that work yourself to make it happen. And now you can get back onto the ship. So the ship that you're actually initially going to get onto is the Alliance military ship, the one that you guys attached to beforehand. Now, obviously, the plan right now is to take as much crap as possible. So we're going to kind of breeze through this because there's no reason of itemizing every single solitary detail. That's ridiculous. But before we do that, obviously, the question is going to be of like, what are we hoping to get? I know that Frank had said beforehand that you're very interested in grabbing the actual shuttle, the functioning shuttle.
The shuttle.
To bring over here, which is cool because once you get down to that shuttle, I mean, assuming you could just kind of switch over the human interface to one that's a little bit easier to use, you can fly it out the back of the ship, assuming you could open the lock, fly it out the back of the ship and bring it over to yours. We'll worry about the rest of those details in a second. So you could definitely do that, no question. I know that obviously.
Salvaging, by the way. Sorry to interrupt you, but you know that's the only way to get a word in here.
Please.
I would have asked Winnie Johns like, "Hey, we're gonna go back to those ships. Are you sure? Like the ship you came on is that, you know, is that a personal thing? Is that okay?"
Oh, it's not a personal thing, but it's owned by the Eclipse, so.
Cattle would just look at you for like a couple of seconds and then just be like, "So, you came here with the Eclipse?"
Mm-hmm.
I would send a message to everyone. Do not touch the Batarian ship. Triple exclamation point.
So just a little context for everybody. In the Mass Effect world, there are many criminal organizations, but there are 3 that really stand out. One of those 3 are the Blue Suns, who is who the party initially started saying, we'll try to work with you, or whatever. The Blue Suns is run at the very, very top, they probably don't know this in-game, by 2 humans, but it's a very multiracial organization. They're just here for profiteering. Their biggest area where they work out of is the Skillian Verge, which is actually where you guys are right now, which is some seriously tense space. You guys happen to be there right now in Blue Sun's turf, working for the Blue Suns, but out of like a different area. So yay. Another one of those 3 big organizations are the Eclipse. Now, the Blue Suns are known for being a paramilitary, kind of do what you need to do to get the job done, da-da-da-da-da kind of organization. The Eclipse, they're, at the very top, they generally are run by Solarians, though it's not locked in, it has to be Solarians. But that's because their approach to things is the intelligent approach. We're going to espionage, we're going to pick locks, we're going to do everything that's like the smart way of handling problems. Very little to no gunfire, and when we do use gunfire, it is like clean single shot kind of stuff. That's their approach to things. They always want it to be just clean, no mess. The assassination happens, nobody's even aware that it was there, so on and so forth. They're the smart group, right? That's their shtick. Then there's another group called the Blood Pact. That's the 3rd group. That group is generally run by Krogan. They hire lots of Vorcha and Batarians, and their approach to things is blow it up. And what is it, Dead Man? No.
Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Well, Dead Man Tell No Tales, but it's kind of one of those like I can fight the people on the ship and try to get information from them, or I can just slaughter everybody on the ship and take what I want. You know what I mean? Like it's why leave anybody alive? If they have a gun on their person, they're a combatant, kill them and then I win. That's kind of like their approach to things. As messy is always the best way. So you have the smart ones, the messy ones, and the ones that kind of like are smart and in the middle, and then tons of other right now not mentioned organizations. Erin came here, or Winnie came here working for the Eclipse. Cattle knows who they are. So Cattle's like, yeah, let's not Yeah.
I would be very aware of like all the big three big groups like Blue Suns, Bloodback, all that stuff. Intel broker.
Yeah.
But would I actually? That's a good point because now that you've mentioned that we are working for the Blue Suns, our characters don't know that, do we?
You put two and two together before, didn't you? You actually rolled that. I thought you put two and two
I
together.
don't think I did. No.
Oh, then no.
I mean, I can
I thought
retroactively roll
in
it.
Character, we knew that.
I thought in character you knew that because one of you guys made the check and figured it out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought so. I thought it was
Because
actually
I-
you that did it.
Yeah, because I don't think Scott would just tell us.
Blue Suns, yeah.
metagame-wise, oh, hey, you work for the Blue Suns now.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure you figured it out, and so Cattle knows that, but didn't tell anybody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Almost
I
positive.
might have forgotten then. I don't know.
So let's just go with that, at least for now, because I'm almost
Okay.
positive, and let's keep going. So you triple exclamation point. Tell them don't check that. Did anybody say anything? Any responses or?
Why, if you think Entourage is helping you loot the ship, that is foolish.
Yeah.
She's
I mean,
not.
I help you with the ship.
She's still brain screaming.
Yeah. She is. She's asleep
Okay.
the whole time.
So-
Like I want to be.
Let's go to the Alliance military combat ship, the actual military vessel first, as opposed to its science vessel. You're gonna pull everything from the ship that you possibly can. If it's not bolted down and it's a weapon, pull it on over to our ship. That doesn't mean that you can pull the
Bolt down,
cannons.
sent cracks to it.
It doesn't mean you can pull the cannons, rip them off the side of the actual vessel, and attach them to yours for several reasons. One, you don't have the equipment to appropriately remove it. You would have to literally cut it free and hope that doesn't damage it. Two, you don't really have the space to store huge outside of mounted, like ship-mounted weapons. And three, you certainly can't use those on your ship. You don't have the means to attach them, blah, blah, blah. It's just not feasible at the moment. But all the personal weapons, shotguns, sniper rifles, pistols, thermal clips, things like that, all of that crap, you are easily able to you're easily going to be able to grab a ton of it and pull it over to your ship. As a matter of fact, you could pull so much over that we're more or less just going to say your ship gets the upgrade of an armory. An armory upgrade happens to your ship, which is friggin' awesome. That's amazing. The other big thing on that ship that I know you wanted to pull over was going to be the
Shuttle.
the shuttle itself. So what is your plan for being able to get the shuttle off of the ship? Shuttles don't typically have weapons, and the weapons that they do have are not very good. You know, they're more of personal firearms as opposed to ship-to-ship firearms. So what's your plan to get this off of the ship? There's no power to open the docking bay.
I have demo charges.
So you want to use a well-planted demo charge to blow open the hatch?
I mean,
imagine
there's
you'd be able to
probably a lot of
do a
demo
shape
charges
charge.
on that ship.
I mean, there are as part of the armory. Oh, so well-placed demo charges. My apologies, because of the armory that you grabbed to throw against there and blow open the door. You don't even have to worry about the vacuum going. You know what I mean? It's literally just little pops, but there's no atmosphere, so it's not like the explosion is very huge. Just little pops for exactly where the force is. There's no fireballs, or big flashes beyond the initial one. And then you can release the thing and then eventually kind of open it up. It takes some time. It takes a considerable amount of time, but you are able to do it and to pilot the little shuttle out of there. Who's going to pilot the shuttle out? Do you have Winnie do it?
I have, yeah, of course. I mean,
Hopefully.
Yep, I can do that.
we were going to
And
share
then
the
Scott-
shuttle, I thought.
Aw.
Yeah, as long as
You
remember.
mentioned, Scott, that I could probably jerry-rig something to attach it to our ship.
Yeah, we're going to get to that in a second. For now, we're just going to say that you are able to easily pilot it so it's over and sitting next to your ship, free in space, tethered. You know what I mean? So that's not a big deal. You can definitely do that. All right. From the military ship itself, the other area that's really, really valuable for maybe bringing over to yours is the medical bay. There is a med bay here full of tons of supplies. All of the electronics, all of the stuff inside there, you're not going to be able to really pull it. You certainly can't pull programs. You can't do anything because there is no power to the ship. But you could grab equipment and bring equipment over for whatever that's worth. I imagine you do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you grab a bit of medical equipment and you bring that over. It's not a full load. You can't do all of that. It's just not feasible. Now, as for programs, the bridge of the ship does have its own nav computer, does have its own that kind of stuff. Are you going to try to grab the hardware of that, not knowing how the software works or anything, or you're just going to kind of like leave that alone?
Would it seem useful to us? Is the question really?
If you can jury rig it into your ship, if you can get it to communicate with your ship, which yours is a human-built vessel, if you are able to get that to function, if the programs are intact, the software is intact, then not corrupt or whatever, yeah, it certainly could be useful. You could upgrade the navigation computer of your ship, effectively giving a bonus to pilot in when going through Mass Effect, or even just FTL flying.
I imagine we would at least give it a go then. You know, the worst comes to pass, it's not useful to us, and we've got a bit of scrap metal.
Okay, why don't you roll me an engineering check? What's that thing called? A electronics check, please, to know what to grab.
Do you want me to do it?
Please.
Yeah, we would defer to the most knowledgeable person on that subject.
Okay, so with your 9, you point out a bunch of things, and it's one of those like, oh, grab this, grab that, and I imagine Cracks kind of like ripping things out of the ground or ripping things out of the wall is you know, Cracks is fine with it, but you're like, oh, okay. And you pull a bunch of stuff over. The hull of your ship is already getting pretty full. Like the storage area of your ship is getting pretty full with everything you're carrying so far. Now you move your way over to the science vessel. What over on the science vessel are you guys hoping to get your hands on? Obviously, the most prized possession over there you have.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the goal?
I mean, do we even need to loot the science festival if we're almost full?
Obviously, get more
Right.
weapons.
Like,
We can always get
Cracks
extra
is,
scrap metal to build stuff with.
Oh, we're gonna go over scrap in a second.
Yeah, Cracks
Oh,
is going to
okay.
suggest, like, look at the cargo manifest, see if there's anything on board worth taking. But we need to go quick.
Why are we going quick, Frank?
Because there was a beacon on
Oh, somebody remembers the beacon. That's right. The Alliance knew that there was something going on over here, and there was a distress beacon here before. Well, let's get into that.
Yeah, so Cracks' thing is, like, he's probably been on salvage runs before. It's probably why his organization got shut down, is they probably got caught one too many times. And he's like, yeah, there's a beacon on here. We need to go really
I mean, we did turn it off, but it was on for a time. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's also been, like, a day, so, or however much time has elapsed, but, or in
Yeah.
some cases, eclipsed.
Oh.
Oh.
So you go and just more or less let's grab as much scrap as we can. So why don't all 3 of you roll me your electronics checks for scrapping things? I would have let you, Ollie, but obviously you're trying to fix your brain piece.
I'm gonna assume it's a sadly intelligence.
It is no, you can use
Strength?
strength for it. Is strength an option on there?
Yes.
Yep, go ahead.
Electronic strength.
Yeah, that's 4 things like this.
And it's a 10 as well, Jesus.
Okay, cool. So Cattle goes over, and Cattle's being very selective with what it is. He's like, I really want like these fine pieces of metal here. I really want this here. I think this is going to carry value over there. He's not going for big things because he's small. He doesn't have a big frame. He doesn't have a lot to carry and whatnot. So he's just being very selective with what he's grabbing for the purpose of value of the individual item as opposed to just large amounts of item. Winnie, however, not very strong herself. But, and also being semi-selective, is just very fast. Like, she goes over, and she's just, like, grabs, like, a screwdriver. She, like, it's like watching, like, a pit in some NASCAR, you know what I mean? Like, she's just ripping things off the walls super, super quickly, which is why she's able to do stuff. So she's semi-selective, but not as much as Cattle is, and just taking things off and throwing them onto, like, the lift to move over to their ship. Cracks, however, is literally just walking up to walls, ripping off panels and going, red, blue, and purple wires? Rips all those out, throws them inside the thing, and just goes over. He's like, I think on a hull before somebody told me this is valuable.
Hey,
and like
I'm
grabs
not
like a huge thing
Gromit.
and rips it out. What?
You can't do Grumman.
He's an
Don't
expert
look
in
at me.
salvaging, you know.
I'm smarter than Grumman.
Much smarter than Gromit.
But no, definitely he has like a sack behind him because it's 0G. It's just throwing stuff in there.
Yep.
So there's probably definitely a scene where he loses his footing and just like you just see him silently go by a window with just like a sack just trying to regain his balance.
Or like he hits something and the bag opens up and just all the stuff just starts like flying out. That's one of those like if Altuari was here, she could have easily just thrown it back into the sack and tied it up and he would have been good to go. But no, somebody broke her brain. So instead he's like trying to catch all the different pieces.
Just like this very silent zero G moment.
Almost like it could be a ballet. Like you know, so anyways.
Is it a space opera?
Oh.